Hey, welcome back everybody for the 4th episode of Duke's Apocalypse Kitchen. We are, still here. And today it's curry day, coconut curry. Yeah, it's gonna have some garbanzo beans in it, some cilantro, and this is the episode where I said that unused tomato sauce getting used. Yesterday I had a little bit of the pumpkin puree from the dog biscuit thing. I'm using that in the recipe too. Doesn't call for it, but I have it, and it seems like it would be a good match, so it's going in there. We're gonna get this thing started pretty soon, but Mama's gonna pour herself some vitamin B first, because that shit's gotta happen.
What are we drinking, Duke?
We're drinking Big Red Cock, which is, I find hilarious, because I love going into a place and saying, yes, I would like a Big Red Cock. I can only imagine the calls right now coming in from my mother. Don't worry, Mom, I'm still gay as Christmas. Don't worry, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. But it's still funny. And it's Brewery Vivant, and I love those guys. They're out in Grand Rapids. They turned a church into a brewery, which if you want to get me back into a church, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do to it.
Amen.
Or at least lie to me and tell me that beer will arrive. I'll sit and wait for it. Teary-eyed, pouty. Okay. This recipe has chickpeas or garbanzo beans in it. And garbanzo beans, when you open them up, are floating around this gel stuff. It's called aquafaba. If you're a vegan, you know about this stuff because you can use it as an egg white replacement. I don't need it for this recipe, so I'm going to rinse it out, and I'm just going to hold my hand over the can, let it drain in the sink, fill it with water one time, give it a little shaky shake, drain that, and then I'm going to toast them on my sheet tray.
And could I just clarify one thing? Is this a vegan recipe today?
Okay, so on its surface, everything I'm doing here appears to be vegan, and with the exception of one ingredient that you might not guess, isn't even vegetarian. And it comes down to the curry paste that I'm using. If you use a dry curry powder, this is a vegan recipe. Totally vegan. I just happen to have, I like curry paste versus a powder, and the one I use, I check the ingredients and there's shrimp paste in it, which is critical because if you have anyone dining that it looks like it's a vegetarian dish and they're allergic to seafood or shellfish, they're gonna have a problem with this dish because of that one ingredient. So it pays to read the labels. Anyway, here we go, rinsey rinsey.
Do 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 do.
All right.
Oh, good, because I didn't have any more of that.
There's no second verse. Really?
No.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna roll these out on my little Silpat liner. I like them toasted. It gives them a little bit of a nice crunchy texture. And they get a nice little toasty. Ooh, you guys aren't the right color.
So you preheated an oven to 350?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna give them a couple of minutes while we saute our vegetables and our onion and garlic. I also started some basmati rice. Any rice will do. In the rice cooker back there, because we're gonna serve this thing on rice. And so I did that. Okay, now.
We're serving it to me.
To be clear. All of these parts that I'm cutting off, I'm saving because it's the apocalypse, boys and girls. And I'm gonna make vegetable stock out of that. So I will keep it in my fridge with any carrot tops and bottoms, celery tops and bottoms and ends, and onion pieces. And then I will throw in some salt and a bay leaf and let it roll with some water.
So you put skins in the vegetable stock?
Yep, actually gives the stock a nice color.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But don't use red onion skins in them because they will turn it pink. True story.
I always wondered why your stock was a different color than mine.
Yeah. That times, yeah, because of the onion.
And so you're doing a knife skill here. You didn't cut all the way through
I did not
for
cut
your
all the way through,
slice.
so that all my slices are staying together at the end. And I do the same thing when I'm cutting every single time. So if I were to look up and look at you, I can still cut and not get a finger in the way because my movements are going to be exactly the same. So I get down to the part, the last slice that isn't cut, and I just knock it over. Those parts with the skin on them still would want to saute nicely. And that's one. So again, take off this little slippery membrane. Make it a little little safer. I'm going to cut these slices in, not all the way through the onion at the end. I cut through, pull it out.
That's a nifty trick.
Thanks.
I imagine you learned that in chefy school.
Yes. And just, you learn it in preppy school, as in kitchen prep work, where you do 1 billion of these a day. But the real talent is not crying.
Have you ever just like turned your gas stove on?
There's a lot of things that people try to do with the whole dripping water, light a match, all the things. Contact lenses are the end all be all of no onion goo making you cry, which is the only reason why I'm not crying right now. Contact lenses for the win.
Cool.
I usually tell people balls of steel.
Interesting, but not anatomically correct.
Correct. I know. Which is why I've given it up. Because even I learn eventually. You know, sooner or later.
So now we're doing garlic?
Yeah. Calls for 4 garlic cloves. I'm thinking 1. That's good.
Do you put the garlic skins in your stock as well?
I don't put garlic in the stock, actually. Sometimes it gets a little carried away with itself.
So just onions and carrots and whatever left over.
Yep. Okay, my garlic is going to go in a little bit after our other onion, veg, and ginger because it gets bitter when it's burnt, and the only one bringing bitterness to this dish is me, baby. I got enough bitterness for everybody. So you just hold on. All right. Olive oil. You can use coconut oil, corn oil, sunflower oil. This is just to saute some bits. I like that sound. To me, that's very comforting.
I like that smell.
Yes.
So are you sauteing the onions until they're translucent?
Yes.
Okay.
Because yeah, we just want them soft.
And at that point, do you put the garlic in then?
Close to the end. Yep.
Oh, and somebody asked me a question about this tool that you're using.
This guy.
Tell me what that is.
This is a spoon carved by my friend Jacob Warren. He lives over there.
That is amazing.
I love it, and I love this very sharp, kind of semi-curved edge. Not too curved, not too straight. When I make risotto, it is the perfect scraping the bottom of the pan utensil for risotto. Love it.
Does Jacob Warren sell those?
He does. Yes. And he's going to sell them in a shop on Michigan Ave pretty soon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had more than one person ask me about that spoon because everybody felt like it was beautiful.
Oh, cool. It is beautiful. I love it. This is some fresh ginger. I'm using it because I had it. If you have ginger in a tube like this, good to go. That's fabulous. If you have ginger dried in a jar like this, good to go too. It's pantry living. Use what you got. And if you don't have it, make the dish anyway. Make the dish. We'll all survive. Well, in theory.
We're hoping.
We are hoping.
Be well fed
Hoping
before.
and wiping and wiping and hoping. Toilet paper.
It's all going to work out.
Sure. Do you know there's a toilet paper calculator now online? You can check out how many rolls you have versus how many times you flush the toilet. And there's 4 women in this house, so it's a lot. So I did that, and it was not as scary as I thought. We're going to live like 32 days based on the toilet paper calculator.
I think this makes some sort of commentary about your personality that you actually looked that up.
No, it came to me. A lot of things I need to know. I'm just lucky that they arrived, that they just showed up in my news feed. I'm like, oh, that does sound like something I need to know.
So you've just put the fresh ginger in before the garlic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ginger is not going to do me a wrong song. like garlic.
And I'm just gonna say that this smells amazing already.
Let me put some more in because I cut it up. Get in there. All right. Time for some big red cock. Beer. I wish I had taken a picture of this earlier. This is a bunch of cilantro that when I pulled it out of my fridge was super wilted and very dead looking. It was actually even like dark green and just like looked like something I should have thrown away. I took a glass, cut the bottoms off of all the cilantro and put it in there. It's been in there for a couple of hours and it looks like I just bought it today. So you can rekindle herbs in your fridge by treating them like cut flowers from a florist. And you even keep them in the fridge that way. But sometimes I knock that glass over and then it makes me sad. So I don't keep them that way.
And you could do that with any herb bunch?
Any of the leafy green ones?
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't, I've never seen it work that well with rosemary. Rosemary, I just wrap in a wet paper towel and throw it in the drawer. And then try to use it quick. Now I'm putting the garlic in. Sorry, I know that the clanking is making a weird noise. I'm trying to stop. This is a curry paste, curry powder that I pulled aside. That if you have a curry powder, you don't need to use this. I just happen to have this. This is a really nice paste. Lasts forever in the refrigerator. And has
What's
really,
the
really
brand of that paste?
Maploy? Yeah, Maploy.
All right.
And yeah, it's really nice. It smells amazing. Yeah, I like that. We're also putting turmeric in this, about a teaspoon or so. Coconut milk, our tomato sauce, and the pumpkin puree that I had left over. I'm throwing in some of the last of the leftover green beans I had from 2 days ago. These have gotta get used. I think green peas would be really nice in this chickpea dish also. Any leftover veg, got some broccoli. Throw it in at this point, saute it up.
So you're still got the chickpeas in the oven at 350.
Yep, I'm gonna pull it up.
Do you know about how long that happens?
5 minutes is ideal.
Okay.
Yeah. And they just get a little bit darker in color, a little bit toastier, you know, a nice toasty flavor.
I'm just going to show the second.
Sometimes when they come out of the can, they're just a little bit. Coconut milk, you want to shake this bad boy before you open it because the fat will stick to one side. I'm not quite ready to pour this in yet.
I can't wait for Melissa Cox's cocktail to this.
Oh, I'm excited. She's excited about it, so I know it's going to be awesome. I got to set up the remote control car so she can send one back to me. That's got to happen.
Yeah, this is a real neighborhood labor of love. Melissa only lives 2 houses down from us.
So, I don't know how much curry paste to put in this recipe. I'm doing what looks like about 2 teaspoons. And I'm putting it in first before all the saucy things, because when you work with a paste, like a tomato paste or a curry paste, you want to saute it in the pan and get rid of its canned flavor. You know, like the tomato paste has a little bit of a tin can flavor to it. And you will work all of those yayas out by sauteing it first before adding your liquid to deglaze the pan.
Cool.
Get a little oil. Ooh, peppers. I inhaled some peppers. Yes, I did.
That was a pepper cough, by the way.
Yes, there was a pepper-induced cough.
That wasn't a pandemic cough.
It is smelling amazing. Holy moly. And now I can actually smell the shrimp paste in there. So they weren't lying about that. This recipe does call for red chilies. Everything under the sun gives me heartburn nowadays, so I really kind of watched that. But I have some gochujang paste, which is a Korean spice paste. It smells really good, and I want to use a little. Grab this spoon. Not that one. All right, we'll try a little.
And what is this paste again?
It's called gochujang.
Could you spell that?
Gochujang. Hot pepper paste. There you go.
And where do you get that?
I got that at Galleria on Packard in Ann Arbor. It is a Japanese market that sold that. Really beautiful place. Love that shop. I also get a lot of my Asian ingredients at Huaxing Market on Washtenaw, the Chinese market. They are awesome. Turmeric. We're going to add about a teaspoon to this.
Oh, my friends. I wish I could Facebook this smell.
Okay. And now we're going to put in our tomato sauce. I wanted to smash this on the bottom so hard. It's already open pots. You don't have to do that.
So our viewers at home are not required to do that move.
No. Don't try it.
I feel like that's going to end in heartbreak.
Yes. Pumpkin puree.
So will you actually taste the pumpkin?
Probably not. I think what it's going to do is bring a sweeter, like a sweet squash element to it to offset the heat. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
And this is a canned pumpkin that doesn't have any sugar or anything in it.
Correct, it's just straight pumpkin puree. I used the other half of the can in the dog biscuit recipe yesterday. And being the apocalypse, we want to use everything. Every bit of everything. Time to throw in our garbanzos. Now we're going to let this simmer for a little bit.
Yeah, that smell is amazing. This is like one of the most aromatic things that you've made in a long time.
This one's stealing words out of my head. Yeah. Whoa.
So you're putting this over rice, but like what else could you do with this, if anything?
Oh,
Is it soup?
It's totally soup worthy. Totally soup worthy. I'm gonna have you taste it in a second. I also, being a meat eater, I would brown some chicken thighs and pour this over it, or put the chicken thighs in it and bake it a little bit more in the oven, so they can all get down with their funky selves. That is amazing. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I feel like if people didn't have rice, the chicken thighs are possible. I imagine you could put it over greens.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't like rice. I don't make a lot of rice. I made it. I think it's a good idea.
Are you doing something for me? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I would love this over grilled eggplant. If I were
Oh,
vegetarian.
wow. The tomato and the coconut together with the little smack of the ginger.
Yeah.
Man, I would just eat that like a soup.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're there. So now I have to add a wedge of lime. I'm gonna squeeze some lime juice in this. I forgot to put my scallions in. Scallions for the win. That was super hot. I'm gonna make some cilantro clippings. Put it on there.
That was really good.
That was hot.
It kind of like gives me, I always like the spices that give me a little kick in the back of my mouth.
Yes.
That hits the back of your tongue in a really lovely way.
Yes. I had a good time with that too.
I imagine tofu would be really good in this too for the vegetarians.
Tofu would be amazing. I was like, oh, I have tofu. And I pulled it out and I set it with bald mint grease this morning. I pulled the lid off and I smell it. I'm like, I don't have tofu. No, I don't. Nope. I had tofu.
Yeah, that tofu would soak up that flavor like delightfully.
Yes, it would. Oh, cilantro, come hither. I know a lot of people, some people don't like cilantro because it tastes like soap to them. It's totally understandable. So when I chop herbs, I do like a tic-tac-toe pattern big first before I do the sprinkler thing, because you have big leaves, you cut them into smaller chunks, and then when you do the sprinkler technique, they stay put instead of having this big bunch of herbs that get pushed around.
Ooh.
And if you chop herbs when they're dry, and you go like this, the stems will fall to the bottom if you didn't want the stems in there, and you can just pick up the top. There's a bunch of stems in there.
Oh. Oh, wow.
But it's the apocalypse, so we're using all of it.
Yeah, we need all of the nutrient dense
Right.
food, which this is actually a pretty nutrient dense food
Yes.
with the chickpeas and
And the pumpkin, and tomato, yeah, and ginger, all that. All right, I'm gonna get out the rice. I'm gonna show pictures of this on the website, Duke's Apocalypse Kitchen. Let's treat it out there like a ghost town, or we're gonna end up with a town full of ghosts. You know what I said? Peace, love, and grace. Quit touching your face!